The factory floor was alive with the symphony of clanging metal, the hum of robotic arms, and the determined steps of workers racing against the clock. The bright lights overhead cast a sterile glow on the machinery. Yet something felt off beneath the surface. A tension simmered just below the surface. Among the thousands of workers assembling Tesla's electric vehicles, one man moved with a calculated stillness, blending into the crowd like a ghost. His face was calm, almost expressionless, but his eyes betrayed a deeper purpose. I've always believed that to truly understand, you need to step into the shoes of those you aim to lead. Elon Musk's voice echoed softly in his thoughts. But what happens when the face of innovation walks among those who build it? Will they see me? Or will they only see the mask of a worker? The thought haunted him as he adjusted his steel-toed boots, the hum of machinery and the chatter of workers buzzing around him. Every movement was deliberate, every step calculated, not because he feared being discovered, but because the stakes were higher than he had anticipated. For weeks, Elon Musk had taken on the identity of Dan, an assembly line technician at Tesla's Gigafactory in Sparks, Nevada. No one knew who he truly was. Not the executives observing from their lofty offices, not the supervisors barking orders, and certainly not the workers immersed in the relentless pace of production. Musk had opted for a bold experiment, a journey into the heart of Tesla's operations to witness firsthand the struggles, the triumphs, and the overlooked voices that shaped the brand he had built from the ground up. This wasn't a mission of publicity or public relations. It wasn't about polishing his image. Musk had been driven by a deeper, more urgent question. What happens when the innovation at the top is disconnected from the reality of those who bring it to life? What I've seen in boardrooms, Musk often thought, is not the same as what I felt on this floor. The stark contrast between the polished speeches about efficiency and sustainability versus the raw, grueling work happening beneath the surface was something he had to experience for himself. This wasn't a publicity stunt. It was a journey into the unseen reality of Tesla, one where the hum of machinery masked the human suffering behind the scenes. As Musk navigated through the factory, every interaction felt like a test. His cover story as Dan, a mid-career technician transferring from a smaller plant, was holding up at least for now. His heart pounded in his chest as he worked alongside seasoned assembly line workers, their movements precise yet tired. Each tightening bolt, every adjustment to a faulty part, brought him closer to understanding what truly lay beneath the surface of Tesla's innovation. But what he saw was startling. Workers were not just building cars. They were laboring under the weight of unreasonable demands, unreliable equipment, and a system that prioritized quotas over well-being. The conversations around the break room were not the optimistic discussions Musk was used to leading. They were instead laced with frustration, uncertainty, and a growing sense of insignificance. "Do they even hear us anymore?" a young man named Luis muttered, his voice tinged with exhaustion. "We're just numbers to them. No one cares about the details, the human cost of pushing production this fast." Musk listened, his gaze steady, but inside, he felt a growing unease. These were the voices that were rarely heard in the boardrooms, yet they held the pulse of Tesla's operations. Every failed piece of equipment, every rushed deadline, and every missed safety measure revealed cracks in a system designed for efficiency but failing to account for the people behind it. The second day was harder. The relentless pace of the assembly line left Musk struggling to keep up. His hands blistered, his muscles sore. Eric, his supervisor, wasn't sympathetic. "You're slowing us down," he barked when Musk dropped a bolt for the third time in a row. "We don't have time for mistakes." Musk could feel the pressure mounting, not just to succeed but to understand. The stories of workers were pouring into his ears, tales of sacrifice, fear, and a longing for someone to simply listen. There was a young mother working overtime to cover her rent, a veteran coping with physical pain in silence, and countless others whose lives revolved around the machines they maintained, even as those same machines pushed them to their limits. During his lunch break, Musk sat quietly in the break room, observing. Conversations buzzed around him, snippets of chatter punctuated by laughter and frustration alike. A group huddled over a vending machine, discussing a recent accident involving faulty equipment. "Third one this month," one worker said grimly, shaking his head. "And still no real changes." Musk felt his stomach twist. He had designed Tesla to be the pinnacle of innovation. Yet here on the factory floor, it felt like the heart of the company was being neglected. Workers were drowning in unsafe conditions, with a relentless focus on speed overshadowing safety. It was a contrast Musk couldn't ignore. By the third day, Musk had begun to understand the full extent of the dissonance. He wasn't just witnessing inefficiencies, he was seeing the true cost of innovation. It wasn't just about the machines or the numbers. It was about the people behind the scenes who carried the weight of Tesla's vision. His hands bore calluses. His back ached. But what haunted him more was the knowledge that despite their ingenuity, these workers felt invisible. And then, something extraordinary happened. One evening, Musk witnessed a group of workers take matters into their own hands. A robotic welder, broken and useless, was repaired with spare parts and ingenuity. Louise, the young man Musk had helped earlier, led the charge, guiding others through the fix. "Management doesn't have time for this," he said with a wry smile. "So we do it ourselves." At that moment, Musk saw the heart of Tesla. It wasn't just the machines, it was the people who refused to be defeated. The brilliance of these workers lay in their ability to adapt, to innovate, even when the system didn't support them. As Musk stood in the factory's morning meeting, he knew it was time to reveal his true identity. The factory floor, once buzzing with the mundane tasks of production, now fell into a hushed silence. His voice, steady and resolute, broke the tension. "My name isn't Dan," he said, removing his safety goggles and looking directly at the crowd. "It's Elon Musk." The room erupted into confusion, disbelief, and then hope. Musk had returned to the boardrooms, but the lessons he learned on the factory floor would forever shape his leadership. Leadership isn't about being at the top, he later shared with his executives. It's about understanding those who make progress possible. And we've got a long way to go. The days at the Gigafactory blurred together, each moment spent observing and interacting bringing Musk closer to understanding the true fabric of Tesla's workforce. As Dan, he had become a participant in the lives of those who built the very products that revolutionized the automotive industry. Yet, every conversation, every gesture, and every silent glance revealed layers beneath the surface of what the public saw as a pioneering corporation. On day 5, Musk found himself walking through the battery assembly line, a part of the process that was once a vision of seamless innovation. The hum of machinery was deafening, but the quiet conversations among workers stood in stark contrast to the mechanical rhythm. Maria, a middle-aged technician with years of experience, paused from her task of assembling battery cells to engage Musk in conversation. "Dan," she began, her voice low and filled with weariness, "do you know what it's like to come in every day, giving your all, only to be brushed aside when something goes wrong?" Musk inhaled deeply, the weight of her question lingering in the air. "I do now," he replied, his voice steady, though his thoughts churned with the magnitude of her frustration. "What happens when the system doesn't listen?" Her gaze sharpened. "We keep going, because what choice do we have?" she said, her tone matter-of-fact but heavy. But inside, we wonder if it's worth it. The truth of Maria's words echoed through Musk's mind, contrasting sharply with the idealized image often portrayed in boardrooms and public speeches. The workers, the heart of Tesla's operations, felt unseen, as if their contributions were mere commodities in the pursuit of technological progress. Musk had spent hours observing the intricacies of the assembly lines, the subtle, yet poignant moments where humanity and machinery collided. But it was the personal stories that left the deepest imprint. After lunch, he found himself speaking with Omar, a young mechanic who had worked his way up from an entry-level position to overseeing a team. Omar spoke about the relentless pressure to meet deadlines and targets that often felt unattainable. "We're pushed to the limit," he said, his voice tinged with exasperation. "And if something goes wrong, it's on us to fix it. No questions asked." The reality of Omar's role illuminated the unseen struggles beneath Tesla's soaring ambitions. Workers weren't just laboring to assemble cars, they were sacrificing time, energy, and mental well-being to meet expectations set by metrics and KPIs. Each task was a step in a broader machine that, while revolutionary, often disregarded the human cost. One evening, Musk joined Luis and Marta for a dinner break, where the conversation shifted towards a more candid discussion about burnout and morale. "We're expected to be machines," Marta said, her voice trembling slightly. "But we're human beings, and humans break down when pushed too far." Louis nodded, leaning back in his seat. "There's no room for empathy here. It's all about getting things done, no matter the cost." Musk sat quietly, listening intently. The emotional weight of their words painted a vivid picture of a system that valued output over the people creating it. Yet, amidst this harsh reality, there were moments of genuine connection, glimpses of kindness and understanding that were rare but powerful enough to challenge the prevailing narrative. As Musk continued his undercover journey, he became more than an observer. he became a participant in shaping the narrative. On one particularly challenging day, the assembly line experienced a breakdown that threatened to derail the entire production schedule. Workers, already fatigued, scrambled to solve the issue, but the tension was palpable. Musk stepped in, offering suggestions based on what he had witnessed over the past days. His approach wasn't about issuing orders, it was about facilitating a dialogue. Maybe it's not just about fixing this machine, he said. Maybe it's about understanding how it fits into the bigger picture. A moment of stillness followed. A brief pause before Sophia, who had been the most vocal during the breakdown, looked at him with curiosity. "You've been watching us," she said, her voice steady but surprised. "You've seen what we've been trying to communicate all along." Musk felt a wave of realization wash over him. For days, he had been immersed in the daily struggles of the workers. But this moment crystallized his understanding. Their struggles weren't just mechanical malfunctions, they were symptoms of a deeper disconnect between leadership and the people who made the magic happen. The following days marked a shift in Musk's perspective. Conversations with workers grew more profound, and the depth of their struggles became more apparent. However, it wasn't all disillusionment. There were sparks of hope, glimmers of resilience and determination that kept the factory moving forward. One afternoon, as Musk worked alongside a diverse team on a final assembly, he witnessed a moment that encapsulated the very essence of his undercover experience. Tony, a senior engineer, carefully guided a younger colleague through a delicate adjustment. Despite the pressure to rush, Tony prioritized teaching, ensuring that the younger worker fully understood the intricacies of the task. "Why do you bother?" Musk asked softly, intrigued by the patience Tony displayed. Tony smiled faintly, his eyes reflecting a deep sense of responsibility. "Because they deserve to learn," he said simply. "They deserve to know that their work matters." That simple yet profound statement lingered in Musk's mind as he reflected on the weeks spent in the factory. He had uncovered not just the harsh realities of mass production, but the humanity behind each assembly line. Workers who, despite the systemic challenges, chose to bring meaning and care to their roles. On his final day, Musk addressed the entire factory floor with a newfound sense of clarity. His words were measured, purposeful, and delivered with genuine emotion. "I came here as an observer," he began, his voice steady and composed. "But what I leave with is something much deeper, an understanding that goes beyond numbers and profits. What you've shown me is the heart of Tesla, the people who make this company what it is." The response was overwhelming. Applause echoed throughout the factory, with workers nodding, some even wiping tears from their eyes. Musk had achieved what he had hoped for, a deeper connection between the vision and the people who made it real. In that moment, the conflict between innovation and humanity dissolved into a shared sense of purpose. The journey of Dan had not only revealed flaws but also offered a pathway forward, a way to create a more empathetic, balanced future for Tesla and its people. Musk's call to action was simple yet powerful. "Let's continue this dialogue," he said. "Share your thoughts, your ideas. Together, we can build a better Tesla, a company where innovation is driven by both progress and compassion." With that, the seeds of change were sown, and the foundation for future conversations began. The final moments of Elon Musk's undercover journey are both eye-opening and deeply moving. After weeks spent immersing himself in the lives of Tesla's employees, Musk has gained a new understanding, one that goes beyond his usual role as a CEO focused on innovation and financial success. His journey has transformed into something more personal, a quest for empathy, authenticity, and the true meaning of leadership. Throughout his time at Tesla, Musk witnessed the hardships and victories of a dedicated workforce. From assembly line workers to engineers and support staff, each individual has a story that mirrors the struggles and dreams of everyday life. But what struck Musk the most was the way these stories are interwoven with a deeper sense of purpose, one that cannot be measured by stock prices or product launches alone. In the closing scenes, Musk stands quietly at the edge of the factory floor, observing the collaborative effort of his team. The once intense demands and pressures have softened into something more human, a shared understanding and respect for each other's contributions. It's no longer just about meeting deadlines or hitting production targets. It's about seeing the people behind the machines, the passion behind the tasks, and the care that goes into every step of the process. As Musk watches, the workers laugh together, offer support during difficult moments, and celebrate the small victories as a collective. There's a genuine sense of community that permeates the air, a stark contrast to the competitive and sometimes isolating environment often portrayed in the media. I came here expecting to uncover the mechanics of innovation. Musk begins, his voice calm yet deeply affected. What I found instead is something much more profound, a tapestry of humanity stitched together by countless small acts of kindness, collaboration, and understanding. The speech lingers in the air as Musk reflects on his journey. The depth of his observations is evident in his voice, a voice that speaks not only as a business leader, but as a human being who has been transformed by the experiences he's witnessed. What matters here, he continues, is not just the technology we create or the achievements we celebrate, but how we treat one another in the process. Empathy, respect, and support are the cornerstones of a thriving workplace, a place where everyone feels valued, no matter their role. The audience watching this transformative moment is moved by the sincerity and depth of Musk's words. The initial tension and curiosity sparked by the Undercover experiment have given way to a profound sense of understanding and hope. Musk's eyes, filled with emotion, convey the depth of his newfound insight. In the final moments, Musk steps forward into the center of the room. The soft hum of machines in the background, a stark reminder of the industry's relentless pace. Yet, the energy in the room has shifted from the constant drive for productivity to a shared vision of growth, compassion, and humanity. The final message is simple yet powerful. We have the power to shape a future where innovation and humanity coexist. Together, we can build something far greater than just machines and profits. Together, we can build a future where every person's contribution matters. The screen fades to black, leaving the audience with a sense of closure and inspiration. However, the story is far from over. A teaser appears for the next chapter, hinting at more undercover journeys, untold stories, and deeper revelations about the human side of business. What lessons about leadership and empathy have you experienced in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more heartfelt stories like this.